You do not notice the moment it happens. There is no argument, no ending, and no final warning. Just a quiet shift that feels almost unreal. One day you're trying, caring, and hoping. The day something inside you goes completely still. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not persists, but will grow in size." This means that when you ignore your emotional limits, pressure builds beneath the surface. It grows slowly, silently, layer by layer, until one day it takes over without asking for permission. When an empath reaches that point, it does not look like anger. It does not sound like closure. It feels like silence. An unfamiliar silence that lingers in your chest like something ended without making a sound. That silence? It changes everything. Not around you, but deep within you in ways you did not even know were possible. At first, this confuses you. You have always been the one who feels more, not less. You're the one who stays longer than they should, who understands when nothing is explained, and who forgives before an apology arrives. You were the one reading between the lines, holding space, and carrying emotions that were not yours. You felt everything deeply and constantly without pause. So when that feeling disappears, when the urge to fix, to care, to reach out suddenly fades, it does not feel like strength. It feels unfamiliar, almost wrong. It is like you have lost a part of yourself you once depended on. A strange emptiness fills the space where your emotional intensity used to be. It is a space that feels both peaceful and unsettling. You start asking questions you have never considered before. Why do I not feel the same anymore? Why does their pain not move me like it used to? Why am I no longer reacting the way I always have? Beneath those questions lies something deeper. It is not guilt or sadness. It is clarity slowly rising to the surface, asking to be acknowledged. What you are experiencing is not coldness. It is not detachment in the way people imagine. It is the collapse of patterns that once controlled you. Patterns you did not even realize you were repeating, like overgiving, where your value came from how much you could sacrifice, endure, or carry without breaking. Patterns like absorption, where you did not just understand pain, you felt responsible for it, as if it was your role to fix what was never yours. Patterns like self-abandonment, where your needs were always postponed, minimized, or ignored. For long, these patterns ran quietly in the background of your life. You did not question them because they felt like you liked your identity. Now something is shifting. The behaviors that once felt natural now feel exhausting. The emotional weight you used to carry without thinking feels unbearable. The people you once fought to keep feel heavy just to be around. The unsettling part is that you did not decide this consciously. It just happened. It is like your mind, body, and entire being finally reached a limit it refused to cross. You start to notice it in the most unexpected moments. A message comes through. For once you do not overanalyze it. You do not reread it 10 times looking for meanings or emotional undertones. You simply see it for what it's. You are sitting across from someone you used to feel deeply connected to, and of trying to fix the distance or filling the silence, you just observe it. You let it exist without trying to control it. At work, someone brings their stress into the room like always. This time it does not stick to you. It does not follow you home. It passes through like a wave that no longer pulls you under. That is when it hits you. Your energy is no longer available in the way. Not because you do not care, because you finally see the cost of caring without limits. You understand how much of yourself you are giving away piece by piece, moment by moment, without noticing what you are losing in return. Once you see that cost clearly, you cannot unsee it. This is what Carl Jung meant when he spoke about the unconscious becoming conscious. He believed that until you become aware of what controls you, it will run your life, and you will mistake it for who you are. This moment is about awareness. It is not loud or dramatic. Deep, quiet, and unavoidable. It is the realization that you have been living through patterns that have drained you. Patterns that felt like love, but were actually self-neglect. What you're feeling now is not loss. It is integration. It is the part of you that you ignored for long, finally stepping forward. The part that knows how to say no without guilt, that understands not every connection deserves your energy. The part that no longer confuses love with sacrifice or pain with loyalty. When that part awakens, everything changes. Not in a way that people can easily see, but in a way you can feel every day. Maybe the hardest truth to accept is this. You did not lose your ability to care. You just stopped giving it to places that never valued it. You did not become cold. You became selective. You did not shut down. You woke up. That quiet distance you feel now is not emptiness. It is space. Space where your identity is not tied to being needed. Space where your worth is not measured by how much you endure. Space where you finally exist fully without shrinking, without filtering, and without carrying what was never yours. It is a space where your emotions belong to you again, where your energy feels lighter, where your mind finally slows down. Once you experience that kind of freedom, even if it feels unfamiliar at first, you do not go back, not because you cannot, because you finally understand something most people spend their whole lives trying to learn. Caring is powerful, only when it includes you, the empath, in your own emotional well-being.